Yeah.
That's how I feel after watching this episode.
Oh, I was pretty angry, which you know, but ugh.
We're
This,
knee deep in some filler.
yeah, well, filler, but also like sexist and bad, and also like perpetuating really bad stereotypes and making making women feel like their physical appearance is the only thing that matters. Yay.
Well, on that positive note, welcome
Yay.
to this week's episode of Jared and Al Watch Love Live. It is episode number 20. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium,
Hello.
and we are discussing season 2, episode number 7, called "We Have to Do Something." And by that I mean turn the television off.
Basically, like this entire episode is like somebody farted in the room and you can't escape it. Like they locked the doors, they blocked everything, and then they just keep farting really, really terribly.
I like how that's your example.
That's what it came to mind. It just
If there
kept
was
going.
if there was ever an episode that is completely skippable in this series, this is the episode.
Yeah.
Because nothing really happens.
And it's gross.
There's an A and a B plot here, and they basically kind of just like happen.
Yeah. And they're not relevant at all to anything coming up.
Not really. So last time we had a cliffhanger.
Yeah, about the little piece of paper in Haneka's room.
Piece of paper in Haneka's room. What could it be? Haneka's gained weight. That's it.
Yeah.
Everyone's freaking out about it.
Like really freaking out. They make her put on her costume from the first show, like to try and prove it to her that she's gained weight. Which I already didn't love Umi. Now I really, really don't like her. I really don't like her. Like when you're running close to Nozomi as like somebody I don't like in this series, like you're not doing very well. You should probably stop.
It's true.
Like this is not how a friend should treat a friend. Like she's basically being a bully this whole episode.
So let's break this down a little bit because everyone's very upset that Honoka has gained some amount of weight. They don't ever clarify like, oh, if it's like a little bit or a lot or anything, even though like her physical appearance really hasn't changed at all that often.
Mm-hmm.
The idol industry is incredibly brutal when it comes to physical appearances.
Correct.
And I think you could forgive this episode if this was like a critique on that.
But
it's clearly not. It's mostly done to be like some form of comedy, but it is not good comedy in the slightest. It's very bad.
Yeah.
And like you said, like all this does is perpetuate the idea that like the only value a woman has is her physical appearance, and she needs to be perfect at all times. She can never slip up, which is incredibly troubling and problematic for high schoolers.
And I mean, we were talking about it. These are high schoolers who are doing a lot more physical activity than they normally have been doing. So like, it is very possible that she's put on like muscle weight.
Yeah, that is completely possible. Like she could still have the same kind of like figure, but she's gonna have more muscle in her like her legs, probably mostly her legs, maybe her upper body and arms and everything, because they do a lot of full body workouts and everything. But like they've been doing these kinds of training and exercises and workouts for like the past year and a half now. Obviously, doing all that's going to have some sort of benefit for you with regards to being in shape and all that sort of stuff. So
It's also worth mentioning that Hanayo is also chastised for putting on weight. Let that girl eat rice.
let that girl eat all the rice she wants.
Also, I thought it was really cute because it's a fair thing to do that they would like do their run, but then like go and eat rice in the middle of it. Like you're rewarding yourself for doing the thing. Like that's not bad. I mean, as long as you're not like making yourself sick eating that much rice, but like, you know, you're allowed to eat food.
Yeah.
And they were
like
so happy.
essentially their plan is for them to lose weight is to train more, go on a diet, and that's the way that this problem is going to solve itself.
Yeah. And like they monitor what Hanaka's eating because like her sister reports to Umi what she's been eating.
Mm-hmm.
Which is real messed up.
So this is the A plot for the first half of the episode, and then basically for the second half of the episode, it's just completely dropped.
Yep.
Until the very end when Hanaka's like, "Oh yeah, I'm back to my normal weight."
Yeah.
Just very offhandedly. The second half of the episode is essentially the second years as the student council. They mess a budget request up by literally both of them watching Kotori take this piece of paper and be like, "Okay, here it is. And I'm going to put it in the approved box as you are all watching me do this, and no one's going to say anything."
Nope.
And then they're like, "Oh, well, the art club got their budget approved, and no one else has yet." And they're like, "How could this be?" It's like you literally just stood there, watched her put it in the box, didn't say anything, and are now shocked that this was the thing that happened.
It's so stupid. Like it would have been one thing if she had been by herself and was like throwing it in like quickly and running off, but like that's not what happened.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, hey, this art club lady's like comes in and is like, "Here's our budget request," and they're like, "Cool, there you go, throw it in the box." And then we get a big about how the art club has their funds approved, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we can't do this." It's like, "What do you mean? We already told them we got the budgets and all this stuff." So they have to have like a group-wide meeting with all the clubs, and they're like, "Hey, we technically don't have all the money you all want because we were going to get shut down. That's the thing. So you're going to get 80% of what you asked for. Everyone cool with that? Cool. All right, later."
The only good part about this really is Nico is in the meeting with the budget and they're like, "Why
Hanukkah
are
doesn't
you
realize.
here?"
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm the president of the Idol Club."
Why wouldn't I be here? They're like, "Oh, right." That's a thing.
Wasn't there like an awkward part where everybody was clapping too? Like during the meeting?
It's the second years who are clapping. I
Okay,
think.
yeah. It's
real
very
weird. This whole episode just, man,
It's a mess.
it's a real mess. Like I have watched Naruto filler that is basically on par with what this episode was. And that's
Ooh.
not good.
Ooh.
There's
Yikes.
a lot of bad Naruto filler
This
that
was
I've
also
watched.
bad. This is real bad.
I mean, I guess there's worse Naruto filler in the fact that like it's completely pointless and then it's all just like real bad toilet humor.
Mm-hmm.
So like this could have had that, which really would have just took the cake. But at least this didn't have that. It just had other bad humor.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
Either way, this episode was just
It
pointless.
sucked.
Pointless.
Yep.
No good. This episode doesn't even have any trivia. The only thing we learned is that the ending character for the credits is Hanyo. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Oh my god. This is such a worthless episode. Ugh. It does nothing.
Yeah. The amount we're talking about it is more than what really we should be talking about it.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's more just rage. I'm driven by rage at this point.
Despite all your rage, you're still just an owl in a cage.
You know what? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're necessarily going to pick up out of this episode, but next time we will be discussing season 2 episode number 8. It's called My Wish. Do you want to learn about that hot Nozomi backstory and get very dramatic
No.
and have Muse figure out that they have to create a new song for the final Love Live preliminaries? Despite the fact that that's the rules.
Yep, that's the rules. Nobody reads the rules, apparently.
Well, yep, yeah. All right, well, if you want more from us, go to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sec.cool where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Language Checkup, Season Language Checkup OVA. And you can find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. And you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably interested in Love Live, so check out One Shining Moment on the website as well. It is a daily column where I break down each episode of Love Live Sunshine because it's the 5th anniversary.
Sometimes.
Featuring Al sometimes. It's the 5th anniversary of Aqua and the 10th anniversary of Love Live at the moment, so that's why I'm doing it. So yeah. Next time we'll talk about Nozomi, Al's favorite character.
Blech.